This is First GenXers.
Poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats. Good afternoon, y'all. Good afternoon, and happy Easter to all those who celebrate. Welcome to this week's edition of the Cheap Pop Podcast. We are down one man for now, but hopefully before the end of the show, we should get the Saint on to give his thoughts about some of the things we're going to be talking about. But right now, it's me and Rune Scryer, and we're good to go. Let's roll. All right, so in our Facebook fan page, on the First GenXers fan page, shout out to that. Go check it out, like it. You dropped an article about, or not an article, but a link to the newest Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. And my God, I just got a chance to watch it about 10 minutes before we came on air, and let me just say, I'm going to be in theater for that 100%.
They got, and pictures that I've seen, I mean, they talk about the pregnancy in the trailer. We're actually going to see Franklin in a stroller.
Oh, so he's going to be born before the
Yeah.
movie's over. Awesome. I can't wait to see what Galactus looks like.
Yeah, well, you got that big boot,
Yeah.
and the practical effects photos I've seen have been looking really good.
Especially with the Thing. He looks kind of, to me, outside of what's his name from New York Undercover, his version of the Thing.
Yeah. I know who
like
you're talking about.
Michael Chiklis.
Yeah,
Outside of
Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis, like in his version of it, like I think that this is one of the better ones that I've seen.
Yeah, and that, people, the fanboys out there are complaining that, oh, his voice isn't deep enough, it's not, gravelly enough. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And
What I'm
of course, the Shia LaBeouf Silver Surfer.
I liked it.
I thought it was great. Yeah. Also,
What's
little
up?
Easter egg to the competition. Did you notice that when the kids are taunting Ben to pick up the car, the color of the car and the pose that he has it in? Action Comics number 27.
Really?
Yep.
Nice. Like
Yep.
little nods. It's all about little nods.
Yeah,
Marvel's
because
really good at that.
Because it's the 85th anniversary of Superman, and Fantastic Four is going up against Superman
when
this
it
summer.
drops,
Yep.
that's gonna be an interesting battle. It's one of the first times that DC's had a movie that could rival what Marvel's putting out.
Right.
It's an interesting time to be a fan, because I think that we're at this point where people are kind of marveled out, and so they're looking for other things.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that they're marveled out in the sense that Marvel's been trying to catch up on the various slips that they've had,
Yeah.
both creatively and administratively,
Yeah.
and they've been trying to keep the juggling act going while they've been doing that. And
Well,
so
go ahead. I,
there's been more blah than yeah,
I
but
think it depends on who's looking at it. Like I
yeah,
definitely do because for me it's not necessarily that there definitely has been. I won't say noticeable makes it sound like it's such a big, but there definitely was a noticeable dip in quality compared to what came before it. And again, just as this is kind of like what I talk about when I talk about today's, like the good rappers of today, the rappers that are quality rappers of today. It's not that they're not good rappers. It's just that better rappers came before them, and that's not their
yeah,
fault. And that's the way
right,
I look at what people call some of the mid-move Marvel movies that have come out recently. Is I'm like, well, nothing's gonna compare to Endgame. Like
yeah,
it's not this movie's fault that Endgame came before it. Like let's give Marvel time to cook with this phase before we judge it and compare it to phase one, which
yes,
was amazing pillar to post. Which
yeah,
phase one had a movie or two in there that was like, yeah,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
would and so at the end of the day, ultimately, to just kind of get to my
yeah,
point real quick, is that I think that Fantastic Four looks great. I think if you want to pick apart any Marvel movie, you can, or TV show, you
yeah,
can. Marvel has not put out a single. Even Endgame wasn't perfect. There. It's about as close to perfect as you would want to get with a comic book movie, but it wasn't perfect. It had its flaws, and
yes,
so, uh, and so, I think that if people just tune out to trying to have Marvel do better than and understand that in two ways with these last couple of phases, Marvel has had to hit the giant red reset button
yeah,
twice. Once when they ended that first phase with Endgame, they had to hit the giant reset and figure out where they were going to go from there. And then they figured out where they were going to go, and they had a direction with Kang. And then all the Jonathan Majors happened, and they had to hit a reset
and
again.
Chadwick Boseman
And Chadwick
and
Boseman died, and
pissing
I
off pissing off the the talent
yeah, with
that the
some of the stuff
executives
that they were
did.
doing, yeah,
They had to get like Perlmutter
yeah.
out, out, um,
But
and
didn't
they
they bring
had
him back? No, 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 no. They brought back the other guy, Eisen,
Bob Iger. Yeah,
Iger, yeah,
yeah. And then they needed to, and they Disney and Marvel need to just decide to ignore a certain segment
oh yeah,
of some of those vocal ones,
yeah,
especially when it comes to, oh, it's the MCU
yeah,
now. Those guys. I mean, Harley Quinn took those guys dead fucking on
yeah,
in an episode and basically just told them, "Shut up. We know you're going to watch anyway.
yeah. Well,
We are making for
a grander audience,
the grander audience,
right?
not just catering to you."
Right. And that's a key thing with a lot of those things with Marvel, DC,
Right.
and all of that is I think they need to get out of their own heads and I think that's what made the original run of the MCU so great. Is Marvel wasn't in their heads. They weren't worrying about appeasing anybody. They were worrying about making quality products. And
Right.
and and for the most part they did so. I think I agree with people that said they tried to expand too fast and that's what caused them to have to retract a little bit
Yeah.
and then relaunch. But in general, the MCU, the original run of the MCU, I'm talking about from the original Iron Man to Endgame, was very well done because they weren't worried about what people were saying. They were more
Right.
worried about what were they putting out. Where's the script good? Was this script helping to build on what we've already built so far? So on and so forth. Like the forethought was there. Now they understand again, and this is what happens whenever this happens with any type of product like this. Once they know they got you and they know you're gonna watch, you're gonna go see every Marvel movie because Marvel's tag is on there. They're still making hundreds of millions, if not billions, per movie.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? that tells them that it doesn't matter what we put out. We
Yeah.
can have our flubs. Y'all are going to watch anyway. And once we get to that point, that's when things start taking a dip. And you just hope that their pride in wanting to put out a good product lifts the quality back up again. But all right. So we'll have that. Saint, you going to join us for Pop Culture Corner here, sir?
Hey, hey.
of of timing and dinner and Easter and
Yeah.
all the other bullshit. So yeah, let's continue forward.
All right. So
Okay.
Carry
continue
on,
for-
sir. Carry on.
So,
So-
Dave, you had one for us for pop culture,
Yes.
and then we're going to get into what's going to be the bulk of pop culture today.
Right. So, Star Wars Celebration is going on right now over in Japan, and Dave Filoni just dropped 2 bits of Star Wars news for us. Um, first of all, he introduced Sigourney Weaver into the Star Wars universe as she will be playing a Rebel pilot or a New Republic pilot in The Mandalorian and Grogu.
She should be Ripley. Should be her name.
I don't know.
Ripley should
We'll
definitely
see.
be her name.
Yep.
That'd be a great
We will-
crossover.
We will see, but yeah, so that's going to happen. And also, there are hints that up to the last 4 episodes of Ahsoka season 2
Yeah.
are going to contain a gigantic fleet battle between Thrawn with the Imperial Remnant and Admiral Akbar with the New Republic fleet.
Now, in my eyes, and I'll let Saint give his opinion after this as well. In my eyes, one of the best. Now, I'm not knocking any other movie. I may not have seen the movies that you guys have seen when it comes to Starfleet battles, but to me, the best ever on-screen like Starfleet battle or like battle of 2 fleets that I've
Yeah.
ever seen was Wing Commander, and that's what it's living up to for me. So if it can beat out Wing Commander, it's got my seal of approval. But that fight scene, that scene, only because I'll say it like this: for me, this is where I'm biased, and I'm willing to admit when I'm biased. Okay, this is where I'm biased. For me, it felt like I was watching the game during a lot of the big ship fight scenes. It felt like I was watching cutscenes from the game. And for those of you who are old enough to remember the Wing Commander game, like it had some of the best cutscenes.
Yep.
It had some of the best cutscenes, live action cutscenes that would just have you ready to go kill Kilrathi. Anyway, so that's what it's living up to for me. But if it's anywhere even half as good as that, I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
What do you think, Saint?
Well, I'm agree, and I'm definitely gonna have to agree with you, Dark Lord, because that's epic. Those are epic battles. Like you have your battles, and then you have your battles,
Oh yeah.
and that was your battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than probably the fight scene or the space battle scene in Return of the Jedi, it's a trap.
It's a
Yep.
bunch of people getting blown out the air. Anyway.
That to me that is still
Admiral Akbar.
that is still the top line for that movie, because
Oh man.
it's like it's a trap. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
All right.
But there's other things. Also, last note from Star Wars Celebration, or last 2 notes. Hayden Christian will be back as Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader in Ahsoka season 2,
Nice.
and from The Mandalorian and Grogu. Paul Sun Hyung Lee, who plays Carson Teva, the New Republic pilot who always shows up in Mandalorian and in The Mandalorian and the others.
Yeah, one of those, quick
Yeah.
appearances and so
Yeah.
forth. Yeah.
He now has his own Star Wars action figure. There is a Carson Teva signature series action figure this year. So congratulations to him.
Is it a limited edition?
No, well, it's the vintage collection.
Okay.
So I'm guessing it's probably going to come out at San Diego.
Okay.
So we'll see. Yep.
All right.
So yeah, that's all
Is
that's all the non Hell's Kitchen news for Pop Culture Corner.
And for those of you, we're going to give you your typical warning. Over the next about 25 minutes, we're going to be discussing Daredevil, Born Again, Episode 9, Season 1. And if you haven't seen it,
I have to confess, I missed it. I have not seen.
Oh,
I have not seen.
dude.
I have not seen the finale.
cover your ears, bro. Cover your ears,
Cover
bro.
your ears, man.
Because we're about to get into
go on a spoiler roller coaster.
Oh my goodness! All right, so
you know the Devil of Great America. You know that ride. This is gonna be wilder than that. Okay.
So we will. So like I said, for those of you who are watching, if you have not seen Daredevil season 9, we apologize, but we are about to talk about it. So skip forward or mute us, whatever you need to do. Till you can see the episode. Saint, I'm sorry, bro.
We are spilling 10 gallons of steaming hot tea today.
So let's first talk about the transformation from Mayor Fisk into Mayor Kingpin, as they put it in the intro.
Yes.
And one of the gruesomest scenes to be seen in a Marvel Disney Plus show since Moon Knight, I would believe.
Oh no, this goes beyond everything.
So let's set this up. So basically, now at this point, Fisk is closing ranks. He's pulling a somebody and getting rid of everybody who disagrees with him.
He's literally telling his chief of staff, it's like, only assemble everyone who's fully in.
Yeah.
And he sends Wesley 2.0 into the New York City Council to address and say, this is what we're going to do. And if you don't go with it, we are going to expose certain little dirty secrets that you have.
All your little dirty secrets.
Yeah. He's
like, yeah, you may want to think about that, how you feel about that proposal. And
there will be a proposal coming in front of you very soon.
Yep. I thought they already had it. They were looking at it, right, when he sat down, right?
No, not the extent. Oh yeah. We don't know what the extent is.
Yeah.
But
they were looking at something, and they were like, hell no.
This will be coming up for a vote very soon.
Yeah.
If you know what's good for you, you are going to vote yes.
Yes. And that was just the beginning of kind of like the things Fisk was doing around town to kind of secure himself, because basically, what was it that triggered it? It was Matt getting shot.
Yeah, Matt getting shot
allowed Fisk to have the authority to be able to do these things.
Oh yeah, because what Fisk put in front of the city council is a declaration of martial law.
Curfew,
and
the whole
curfew,
shebang.
Everything. He even has Con Ed turn off the grid to Manhattan.
Yep.
And passes it off as a vigilante terrorist attack.
Yep. So.
And Gallo.
Hold on. We built to this scene where Gallo, after Fisk basically kind of announcing this at a party, and all of this goes to the black woman, the secretary,
Cheryl or
Cheryl. Yeah,
his
and
chief
he's
of
like,
staff.
look, with me and some other people, we going upstate. We going to talk to some people. His authority does not stretch this far. He cannot do this. Like, I just need to know you got my back. And she tells him like, like I can't go with you, but if you need me to call up and give a whatchamacallit, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it, right? About 2 minutes later, some other things happen that we'll get to in a minute, and then they show her phone. They show a phone sitting on a desk in front of Kingpin.
Yeah.
What's up?
And Gallo is getting into his car, and he knows.
Oh, you skipped ahead. I was just saying they show Kingpin listening to it on her phone.
Yeah.
And then they show her standing outside of Kingpin's office, basically crying because she knows in that moment she signed this man's death warrant. By stating like, that he was about to do this, she signed, and then we skip to
Gallo getting into his car.
Yeah.
He notices that he's got a different driver, and his other driver, the new driver says that the other one called in sick.
Yeah. And it's one of the guys he brought onto the force.
And yeah. And we don't even have to see the Punisher neck tattoo. Gallo knows it. He just sits back in his car and enjoys his last ride.
Yeah. He realizes what's about to happen, and he just goes for the last ride.
I think Saint.
I don't think he wants any more spoilers.
Yeah.
But then we get to the scene. And base. There he is.
There he is. Okay,
So
the circle.
Yeah,
where
the
Gallo. Yeah, Gallo gets a hood put over his head.
No. They walk him right on in.
Okay.
They walk him right on in, but he walks into a room with Fisk and a bunch of cops.
Fisk, a bunch of cops, and a couple of the tracksuit mafia guys.
Yeah, a couple of tracksuit mafia guys, right? And they're sitting there, and like I said, when I describe this as one of the most gruesome scenes you've ever seen, they're sitting there talking, and then Gallo stands his ground, 10 toes down, and Fisk. Let's just get to the point. Fisk chops him in the neck.
Yeah.
Hits him with the double axe handle on the back, and then proceeds to give him the Great Khali mind crush. Like, only difference is at the end of it, Fisk literally takes his head and goes pop.
The top part of the skull goes one way, the bottom jaw goes the other, and gets torn off.
Yep.
And it's just hanging by a piece of yeah. This was Scanner's level of effects.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I love it because Fisk with blood all over himself looks up and goes, "Anybody else got any objections? Anybody?"
Yeah.
like I don't think anybody's speaking up in that moment when they just watched you explode a dude's head with your own hands, dude. Nobody's saying anything, and you know that. I don't even know why you asked that question. You knew the answer before you asked it.
Yeah.
Even not watching the episode, I at least know that. Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the moment where the definition, or not definition, the description of the show, where it says Mayor Fisk becomes Mayor Kingpin. There's your moment. That's when it happens. Because now the dude has absolute power. Because now everybody within the system knows you fuck with him, he'll kill you. He doesn't give a shit. Yep. He does not give a. So.
Yep.
Go on.
Now, back to Matt recovering in the hospital. And Heather's there. Heather's kind of really freaked out by all of this. Matt's sinking through a lot of things. And
he actually tells his law partner when he's coming out of whatchamacallit that Vanessa Fisk is the one who had Foggy killed.
Right. Yeah.
And
Nikki's like, "Are you loco, Matt?" And no, it's the morphine. Okay. Yeah. And Karen shows back up.
Yep. Oh well, that was what Well, that was one Matt. So Matt's in the hospital. Matt being Matt, of course, Fisk tells Wilson number 2.0 um, to
Oh,
go
right. Kill
kill Matt in the
Matt.
hospital. Dude gets to the hospital carrying a bag, got the little needle in his thing. Right, he gets to the hospital, and the blackout is to help him be able to kill Matt. So they
Right.
black out half the city in order to be able to help him kill Matt. But he walks into the room and Matt's gone because
Yeah,
Matt heard him coming 3 hallways down. So
Matt
like,
ninja'd out. Yeah.
yeah. So then we get to Matt at home walking into his own apartment, and he sits down and they pan up and Frank's there.
Yep.
And Frank Castle's there. He's like, "How you doing, Frank?"
Yeah.
Frank's like, "I got a
You know,
phone call." He
Yeah.
goes up,
For such an expensive apartment, you got shitty tasting coffee.
yeah, he's talking. Frank and his coffee, just killing me,
Yep.
dude. Nothing like a good cup of coffee.
Yep.
So,
So
but yeah, needless to say, like they realize, like now that Fisk has control of the city, like he's coming, and he
yep.
knows, he's coming. So they start getting ready. Da da da.
Matt
Frank's
gets
uh,
Matt
the,
gets geared up.
yeah, in a poignant moment to a latter point in the show, Matt asks Frank, like, "Yo, dude, I thought you wasn't like a part of this. I thought you was staying out of it." And Frank specifically says, "I got a phone call that changed my mind," and that's all he says about it. He goes,
Yep.
"I got a phone call, man, and I changed my mind." And
And
yeah, and so
then,
needless to say, watching Frank Castle and Daredevil beat the shit out of the entire fucking vigilante.
no. Just the squad that they send
Yeah,
after
the
them.
squad that the vigilante task force sent.
Anti-vigilante task force sent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just the squad. And Matt trying to keep Frank from killing everybody.
Frank wasn't giving
And
a fuck.
yep, Frank was not having any of it.
You come
Um,
for me.
yep.
Yeah, that was it. That was the
Yep.
vibes it was giving.
Yet
Uh,
Matt managed to save one of the vigilante task force.
yeah.
That from Frank's straight up execution, not just random bullet fire.
Well, one other one almost survived until
Yeah.
Matt refused to kill the guy he had the chance to kill. And then
Yeah.
Frank went to go kill him, and Matt was like, "No." He's like, "You care about these dudes?" Pop, 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 and kills another one. He's like, "Why? Why?" I'm like, "Yes, I love Frank Castle."
Yeah.
Frank don't give a fuck. Like he's like, "These dudes came for your life, and you trying
Yeah.
to spare them? Really?" Like, yeah, nah.
So, end result, we find out that the phone call to Frank came from Karen Page.
Yes,
She's back.
Yeah,
She's back in town, and as soon as things started going to shit, she knew that Matt was going to need backup, so she called Frank. Matt and Karen share will they, won't they vibes,
yeah,
and Matt explains his theory that Foggy found out something about the trial
yeah.
against the Fisks that was going to change everything because he had filed for a motion to dismiss. But they need to find the motion to dismiss.
Yeah.
They don't know what it was.
Right. That
So,
was pretty much the whole thing. Yeah.
right. So Matt and Karen go searching through Foggy's storage unit and going through stuff, reminiscing a little bit. Matt explains the avocados at law joke when Karen finds an avocado at law in one of Foggy's boxes. So sad.
Yeah.
And then we find the legal document. And we find out why Wilson Fisk is so obsessed about the Red Hook Point job. Because Foggy had found out. Foggy was going to dismiss the charges against his client because the charges occurred at the Red Hook Port.
Okay.
And according to the Red Hook Charter, Red Hook Port is a free port.
Means
No law enforcement, no government oversight, no nothing. And Matt realized that this was what Vanessa was trying to protect.
Yep.
This is the secret. Because with this and Fisk running New York City, they turned their smuggling business worth millions
Into billions.
into billions.
Easy.
Because
So
there's no U.S. Customs, no law enforcement, no nothing in the Red Hook port.
yep. So they then it's kind of like unincorporated area. If you've ever driven around a city and driven into unincorporated area, there is no normally it's the sheriff, it's the county sheriff that deals with the unincorporated area as opposed to the local police.
Right.
So like think of it like that. Red Hook is basically unincorporated area where it would take federal level charges to get called on something, it getting busted there because New York would have no jurisdiction.
Right.
Because it's a free port. So
Well, not even the feds have jurisdiction in the free port.
yeah.
They specifically said that.
Okay.
Is that-
Okay.
yeah.
So in this world of not even the Fed, so that gives an open place where they can, it's basically a little
Right.
hole that they can get everything in through. So okay, so then that brings us after Frank, right, separates from Karen and them and stays home, and of course the squad comes for Frank, and of
Yeah.
course Frank kills, I don't know, 6 more dudes because
Yeah.
that's Frank, before they
And then
finally take him down,
They take him down.
and it comes to
Well,
one of what's up.
They Frank and Matt were going to attack and free the prisoners at the Red Hook facility.
No.
Because-
That was
okay.
because remember they went back to Frank's after they got out of Matt's, and
Yeah.
then Frank and Karen, and then Matt and Karen left. That's when they went and found the document.
Gotcha.
Then the squad came for Frank,
Right.
and they
Okay,
picked up Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much stuff has happened.
Yeah, it was
Everything's
a
just
lot.
kind
It
of
was a
running
lot.
around.
Yeah.
So we also find out that the Red Hook port,
Yeah.
the underneath, that's where Fisk is stashing all the vigilantes. That's where he had stashed Adam.
Okay, hold on. You jumped ahead on me there again.
Yeah.
What I was getting to was they come and they get Frank, and you get this moment where they have Frank beaten up, tied up, and just looking like shit, and they
Yeah.
sit down in front of him. The primary guy, forget what was his name.
Doyle, I think.
Doyle sits down in front of Frank and proceeds to tell him like, "Yo, dude, like we all admire what you do. Like man, we all love the Punisher. Like we love what you stand for, what you represent, right?" And Frank's just sitting there rolling his eyes, like, "Yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Like whatever." And Frank lets him finish his whole spiel about come join us. You can fight with us. We can take down crime in the area. You know what I'm saying? And be the heroes. And Frank's like, "You jackasses think you're heroes?"
Yeah. He's calling a good 16 members of the Anti-Vigilante Task Force, all tooled up in armor and guns. Frank's just laughing and calling them a bunch of clowns.
Yep. He's like, you think you know my pain? You think you know what I go through, what I've been through? Like you think you know why I do what I do? And it's that moment where it was just like, yes, tell them, Frank, straight to their face.
Yep.
Fuck
And
you. Like, fuck
this-
you. You don't represent what I represent. Fuck you. Like, and that's what Frank was saying, like the whole thing. And then, of course, you get the big black guy that walks over and
Right.
punches Frank dead in the face.
Yeah.
And Frank
And
tells him
this
he hits
is
like a bitch, so the guy hits him again.
yeah.
Frank Castle. Gotta love it.
This is the point in the comics where the scene between Frank and the Punisher cult
Yeah.
in the NYPD,
Yeah.
Frank tears the decal off the Prowler and berates him and said, "You want a role model to look up to? You want somebody to follow? His name's Captain America, and he'd be glad to have you." Which I was hoping that they try to work in for this, just simply for the fact
Yeah.
that Sam Wilson is Captain
Captain America right now. Yeah. That would have been a pretty sweet nod there.
That would have been great. But
yeah, so
yeah,
Frank, we then we move forward to it's actually Frank and Karen that are, or not Frank and Karen, but Karen and Matt
And
that are
Matt.
up on the
Right.
hill right above the Red Hook warehouse, where we come to find out that this is where Frank keeps all of his or not Frank, but
Fisk.
Kingpin keeps all of his political prisoners and all the people
In
he
like
doesn't like.
in dog cages.
Right, and we come to find out that he actually has Frank Castle down there too,
Right.
which comes up
So-
later in the post credit
Right.
scene that we'll get to.
But but Karen basically she successfully persuades Matt that no, this is suicide.
yeah, you're not
This
going to
is suicide.
survive if you go in there.
Yeah.
You're not making it out, which is the
And-
truth. It's Matt Murdock by himself against
Yeah.
what, couple hundred task
Yeah.
force dudes. Like, Matt, I love you, dude. You got mad skills. You're not making it out of that alive.
Yeah. So
Barely
we
survived
end
the fight with Bullseye. Man.
Yeah.
Come on.
we end the
Oh, by the way, now, yes, Bullseye is on the run now, too.
Yeah.
Bullseye is still out, by the way. All this shit's going on, and Bullseye is still out and on the run.
Yeah. and the season ends with everybody reconvened at Josie's. Oh, that's how Matt knew that Foggy was certain he was going to win
Yes,
that night.
was an important
Foggy broke open his special whiskey bottle that was kept at Josie's,
Yes.
his victory whiskey.
The old Melvins, I think it was the name of it.
Yeah, Bo Melvin's, yeah. So, anyway, we reconvene at Josie's, and Matt tells Karen, it's like, you're right.
Yep.
We need an army.
She convinces them that they need an army. Yeah.
So it's the army is starting off in Josie's, where it's Cherry, Josie, and Matt's just in his Daredevil outfit.
Yeah.
He's not exposing his ID to anybody at this point, but Matt's talking as Daredevil. And let's see, Josie, Cherry, I can't remember who else was in the bar.
There's a couple other cops. It was that Asian cop, the one that the one
Right.
episode with the bank thing.
The bank hold up, yeah.
yeah.
Bank hold up, yeah. Couple of good cops that Cherry's vouching for.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we go to Nikki in the law office,
Yeah.
and she's looking over Foggy's motion to dismiss.
Yeah.
So she's cued in on the legal side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Matt's building up a street army.
Yep.
And was BB in there? I can't remember if BB was part of that.
They showed BB, but they didn't show any particular thing that I think they showed BB doing. They just showed her like sitting at a whatchamacallit, at a like bar, just like
Yeah.
having a drink, like chilling there,
Yeah.
looking at her cell phone.
Yep.
But she's evidently gonna
Yeah.
have a role to play in season 2.
Yeah. Fisk also puts Gallows' death at the hands of Bullseye.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. One last important part missed. Matt's now ex-girlfriend is the new
Heather.
director of mental health in New York.
Yes.
Fisk made her the new director of mental health in New York. So yeah, I
So,
wonder how
yeah.
that's all gonna play into.
Right.
Like I said, season 2 is looking really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I was saying to Dave offline that to me it's obvious that they're setting up for, I would say, at least one, if not two, of the
Okay,
defenders to show up.
Yeah.
To show up in
Here's-
next season.
Here's what they're doing. What I think they're doing. Okay, one. Okay. Oh, let's do the end credit scene.
Oh yeah, the end credits.
before we- The
So-
end credit scene.
Go
We're
ahead.
back. We're back at the vigilante prison.
Mhm.
Okay, it's panning through, and we see that Fisk has swordsmen.
Yep.
Okay, now this is not just Jack. Okay, high roller, big money, Jack Duquesne. Jack Duchamps is in a dog cage underneath Red Hook Port.
A lot of them rich people were.
Yes, a lot of the rich ones were. And then we come to Frank. He's busted up, but he's still there. He's chained up to the cage. He's got a little bit of lead and everything.
It's a little
And-
too much lead.
Yeah, because,
We come to find out.
yeah, because Frank goes straight on Professor X with the one guard down there. And it's like, I am your friend. And
He's
dude
not. He's
is
like, "Where
just
you
like,
from, cat?" He's like,
yeah,
yeah. He's like Jersey. Oh, you Jersey boy too? Yeah. What's up? You know
yeah,
me? So you know about me,
yeah,
right? You know my stuff, right?
yeah.
He went
It's like, you
Jersey
know
boy
what?
on him. It was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did that. It's like, I'd like to shake your hand, sir. And dude is stupid enough to stick his hand in the dog cage within reaching grasp of Frank Castle.
Frank
And
breaks
he
that poor
pays,
man's arm. He was just trying to go home to his family.
yep.
Oh, they don't
And
show Frank get out, but it's obvious Frank's about to get out. Like,
yeah,
and it's just one of those type of things. Like I said, I think we're building to starting to
those,
see the other characters from the Defenders show up.
right.
I think that Dave has a good idea as well
We
with
know,
what he was talking
well,
about the
yeah,
possibilities as well.
yeah. We know that we're getting a Punisher special event sometime this summer on Disney
Okay.
Plus. So it's just going to be a one shot in there.
So,
But yeah, like I said last week, I think that season 2 is going to be the return of the Defenders and Matt turning everything into Shadowland,
the Shadowland.
which will get the Defenders back.
Mm.
But then when, Danny, Luke, Jessica, when they all hear what Matt has done
Yeah.
and bringing in the hand, they're just going to walk away from Matt and they're going to stay the Defenders, but to protect the city from the hand.
We'll see. We'll
Until they
see.
can get Matt's, yeah, there's just a lot of moving parts. There's
I
a
think
lot
that
of
they
different
could make.
directions that they can go.
I think that they could make Fisk a big enough threat that they don't walk away.
Right. No, they're not walking away from protecting everybody in general,
Yeah.
but Matt is now a threat on the level of Fisk that they're having to protect the city from.
We'll see if they go that route.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think there's plenty. I think they left themselves a lot of open doors. And like my theory was, like I said before, I think that they had already started shooting season 2 by the time they finished editing season 1 and dropped it. That's why we're gonna, like they've already said, we're getting season 2 next year. And around this time, so that I was reading an article that's a really quick turnaround for Disney Plus shows. Sometimes we wait a year or two between shows, so like the fact that they did it so quickly mean that they had to start recording.
Yes.
They had to start shooting 2 before 1 was done. And I also said another
Filming?
lean to that
Yeah.
is that you don't have a season finale that goes that way and have that
Yeah.
post-credit scene unless you already know you're going to do a season 2.
Yeah. And to your point, you are correct. Filming started February
Yeah.
2025.
So see,
And they're expecting to be done with it July 2025.
okay. See, and that's the different thing with streaming now is, like I said, it used to be a lot harder because back in the day, like for those of you who are old enough to remember it, like I know you two are, TV shows were 25 episodes a season.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like it's just not like that anymore. Now most seasons are like 10 to 13 episodes. So, and they do have seasons where you get 6 episodes for 6 weeks and then you don't get an episode for like 2 months and then you get the other
Right.
next 6 episodes.
Well,
I used to
you still have some conventional shows.
Yeah,
that
there
still
are
run
still some, yeah.
22.
Yeah, but there's just not as many. Like all shows used to be like that. Like remember, like y'all remember this. There was in September that started the new season for
Yep,
all
that
your
was the-
TV shows.
that was the
Normally
fall
by
season.
about May, they were done with their seasons. Then
Yeah.
you had reruns throughout the summer, and in the fresh September started a new thing. Somewhere around 2008, I was watching USA, and I was really into the show Suits and White Collar, and Burn Notice. And I was really into a season, and I started watching the first, and then we got 6 episodes into the season. And they were like, "Okay, so we'll see you in December." The fuck
Yeah.
you mean? You just gave me 6
Um,
episodes. Like,
yeah.
no, I want the rest. And then come to find out, the whole season was only like 14 episodes altogether. I was just like, yeah, like they've completely changed TV now.
Well,
like,
yeah,
and
and
how
that
you
it's
watch it.
because it switched over to the British model
Yeah.
in there. So
Okay. Well,
And
that's a fucked up motto, and British needs to take it back. I prefer my September to May. Give me 25 episodes, and and another thing, I'll just make my last point
And
about.
mid-season replacements.
Yeah, give me a whole fucking season. If you sign somebody for a whole fucking season, give me a whole fucking season. This should have given me 6 episodes and then cutting it off for good. Oh yeah, we canceled that show. There was a show called Flash Forward. I will bring this up to the day I take my last
Man,
breath. That
I
show was
look,
so damn good, and they had just started getting to the good shit when they canceled it. And what now? What fucking
dude.
now? Go on,
They
say.
canceled. Listen, they canceled when the Flash first came out, 1990,
Yep. John Wesley Ship.
with John Wesley Shipp, 22 episodes, and it ended on a cliffhanger. Like, what
They
the
said,
fuck?
"Bye, y'all. We ain't coming back no more."
Yeah, like that. It was one, and it was a good season.
Yeah,
But
and it's just. But at least you got the one. I got 4 episodes out of no, it was not Flash Forward. There was another episode about a submarine running up on an island and finding this group of people that's been living there forever and shit. And they got their own society and shit. And it lasted like 5 episodes and it was done. Like, don't give me that many episodes and then stop. Like, just play out the rest of the season. I'm good with getting through episode 22. The cliffhanger thing, I'm good with that. Okay, they ain't coming back.
No.
Well, that sucks.
Listen.
But giving me 4 or 5 episodes and then telling me it's
Listen.
canceled, like, it can't be that bad.
Listen.
The ratings can't be that bad.
Listen, and no, I'm gonna tell you honestly, what's really been sucking are these Netflix shows.
Yeah.
Now there's this Netflix show called Chaos with Jeff Goldblum. You know,
Yes.
they were the guys.
Yes.
Guess what? Guess
Canceled.
what?
One
Fucking season.
Yes. Thank you.
I got invested
Thank
into that.
you.
Okay,
Holy
Roxy got me invested into that shit. Okay,
That was
because you know, and you know, I don't like, you know, it's like I don't like these off kilter shows and shit. But God,
damn, Jeff Goldblum owned that series. That whole series was fan fucking tastic.
but it was fuckery the way they did it. They was like, oh, we're wondering if it comes back for a second season. Next thing you know,
Nope.
3 weeks, right? 3 weeks, right when you thinking, hey, we got another season coming back. Here it is. Chaos not getting the second season. Like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like,
I will tell you this. There is one show on Netflix that if they do that to me with, I've already told a good mutual friend of the show, if they do this, I will riot. There is a show called Supercell that was extremely good.
You know what? No, you know what?
If they don't do a season 2 of
no,
Supercell, I'm
we're
fucking
not gonna
rioting.
jinx it. We're not gonna jinx it. We're not gonna jinx it because, and I mean, no. Listen.
I need me some
no,
Supercell, bro.
Listen, no apologies. No apologies today. Current company accepted, but black people needed this show.
Yeah, it's an amazing
We needed this show like we needed diabetes, okay?
Oh,
When I tell you, Supercell, even Jamil, one of our good friends,
who's critical, who
was
can be
very
critical.
was very critical. He was like, if we don't get a second season, like, motherfuckers will be,
Oh yeah,
you know, going to the hills. I loved that show. But if you don't get a second season,
I'ma
man,
hurt
fuck
somebody.
you, Netflix, dude. Like,
I'm gonna say it like this. Quick 2-second story time. The only I had heard of that show for like 6 months. I went to Vegas with Jamil last year. While we were in Vegas, I was sitting in front of a slot machine. He asked me, "Have you watched Supercell yet?" I was like, I've heard about it. I ain't never actually, put eyes on TV and watched it. Ain't got a lot of time, got a limited schedule on what I watch." And he's like, "Bro, we're going upstairs because the hotel room we got actually had Netflix on the TV." So it was a smart TV that had Netflix on it. So he's like, all right. I was like, all right, we can go upstairs, sign into my account. He's like, yeah, let's go watch it. Now we didn't get through the first episode because we were sitting there. We had been spending that whole weekend reminiscing about old times. It had been a while since we saw each other. So we kind of got about 3/4 of the way through the episode and then got to talking to each other and got lost in the conversation. But I came home. I had like another 5 days off after that. I went to Vegas on the front end of my vacation. When I got home that Sunday night, that Monday morning, I woke up and binged the rest of Supercell, and was just like, yeah, I need me more of this, and have not. I need to rewatch it just so my mind stays fresh with it because they taking too long with the next season. Like I need to go rewatch it, but
No, I can't. It's like if I have to absolutely rewatch it,
uh,
I may decide to go like, okay, boom, 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 boom. Like, I do need to kind of like get a refresher course
yeah.
just because of what have you.
Well, just light me up
But
on what
yeah, just
remind me up on
maybe
what happened.
one or two episodes be
Yeah,
like, like I'll go in the middle of like you did like episode. You had 6 episodes.
yeah,
I'll go back in there maybe episode 4
yeah.
because
Starting
you
episode
already
4.
know you'll remember like you'll
A lot
get
of
that recap. You'll get that recap,
yeah,
and then it's like right in the middle of the story. Then you get 4, 5, 6,
yeah.
and then you'll want to go and watch the next
The
season.
next season.
See,
Sometimes
yeah,
depending on the season, I'll just watch the season finale, and keep going. But all right, so that's gonna end our pop culture talk for right now, y'all.
Actually, hang on. Just really quickly, we had episode uh, 2 of the new season of Doctor Who.
have not watched it.
Oh, never mind. Everyone's saying that it's really good.
Okay.
That we've got a great new potential villain
Okay.
to recur, um, and uh, it's. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it definitely hits hard the reality of the era that the Doctor winds up in this week.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm definitely
They
gonna have
don't
to watch it.
they don't sugarcoat it, coat it apparently.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there we go.
Well,
All right. So then on that note, we will take a pause and come right on back and talk. I know what y'all have been waiting, what most of y'all out there have been waiting for, and that is we are going to talk night 1 of WrestleMania after we discuss one quick topic at the top of the thing for SmackDown Alley. All right. So thank you for joining us. Please stick around. You are watching the Cheap Pop Podcast. I'm Dark Lord 100. That's Rune Scrier. Below us is the Saint. We make up this wonderful show. We'll see y'all in about 10 minutes worth of commercial break. We'll be back. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the Saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. We're Generation X meets Generation X, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfo. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then.
You got to keep it. Keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. Keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose, camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah, come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
Hey, what's up, y'all out there in TV land or Twitch land or whatever we're doing today? My name is Dark Lord 100, aka Double KK Double. I am the host of the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom, as well as your favorite music show, KD5P. I'm here to tell you about the Live 365 lineup that we have coming up starting on February 3rd, Monday, February 3rd. We'll open up Mondays through Fridays with Now versus Then, Deuce, classic episode from the Blog Talk Radio days. We follow that up with an FU Wrestling podcast from Spreaker, starring myself, Double K, and your boy Cole. We follow that up with, again, me, Double K's Classroom, old sports show I used to do, 30 minutes from 6:20 to 6:50. We follow that up with West Coast Bias, myself, O'Malley Duel, and Suave, bringing you sports talk from a few years back. Then we have Now versus Then. That's the centerpiece of our day at 9:35 a.m. with a classic episode of Now versus Then. And every Wednesday at 9:35, you'll get a new episode of Now versus Then, Deuce from Twitch. At 12:45, you'll hear an episode of KD5P, K-Double's Fifth Period music class that you can hear right here on Live 365 every Saturday night. And you can hear a replay of it every Tuesday night at 12, or Tuesday afternoon at 12:45. You can also listen to at 3:20 the Cheap Pop Podcast, followed by NBT Deuce at 5:30. Great episodes. Probably the same episode from the morning. Lip Gloss and Mics has now moved to the 9:05 slot with a new episode of The Classroom on every Friday. And then we close out our night down and dirty with the Kings and Queens of Porn. That'll be every Monday through Friday right here on Live 365. Catch us at live365.com/First GenXers, or you can go to the Live 365 app, look for the First GenXers Radio Network, and that's where you'll find us. All this and more right here on Live 365. Peace. All right, and it's Double K back with you again, host of the Cheap Pop Podcast in the Classroom, also your favorite music show, KD5P, and I'm here to talk to you about the Saturday and Sunday lineup. Last video we did Monday through Friday. This week we're going to do Saturday and Sunday. All these shows will be airing on Saturday and Sunday concurrently till about mid-afternoon, and then we go into two different lineups. On Saturday, Sunday mornings at 12:30 a.m., you get a classic episode of Brick House 2.0. Followed up by Lovely Radio, which is back on the air with First GenXers. And we have Mr. Deacon at 5:15 a.m. Sam Brett Radio now moves up from the 10 a.m. slot to 7:25 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. And the 10 o'clock slot now goes to Ms. Optimism, back with us again after a short hiatus. We follow that up with another episode of Lovely Radio at 12:10. And then we get Sam Brett one more time from 2:45. You get about an hour and 15-minute episode on Sundays, and you get a full 2-hour episode on Saturdays. That episode will air right before the live episode of K-Double's 5th period music class on Saturday nights from 5 to 8. Right here live on Live 365, where K-Double brings you some of the hottest tunes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And then we close out Saturday nights with the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast from 8:15 to 11. So on Sundays, you go from Sam Brett to 4:10, The Classroom. 45-minute episode of an old version of The Classroom that we had over on Spreaker. And we'll follow that up with Dirty Talk 101 at 5:30. And we close out with 7:40, the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast, another great edition of me and your boy Cole. And we close out at 10:10 p.m. with the Sidebar. So thank you for listening or seeing me here on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. And join us on any one of our platforms here at First GenXers and Double KK Double Network. You got 2KK2network.com, my website. You also have the twitch.tv/First GenXers, and you also have Live 365 where you can find us or you're listening to us here. And we also have for those podcast folks over on Spreaker, a place where you can find the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom on podcast. And you can download it and everything. So that's it from me for this week. This time around, I'll be back again with a new schedule as of May 1st. But until then, y'all enjoy this lineup and stay up. Peace. Hello, y'all. We are back, and we are ready to put up our dukes and fight like men, like luchadors. No. There's one thing I want to talk about before
Yeah,
we
you
get.
done lost it, man.
There's
Yeah.
one thing I did want to talk about before we jump into the WrestleMania card itself. And that was there was a major announcement as far as the wrestling world is concerned that was made by WWE and their pre-show leading up to night one of WrestleMania out in the Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. And that was that official, whenever the deal closed, WWE has officially purchased AAA Wrestling out of Mexico. Now, if you know more about wrestling than just WWE, then you know that AAA, CMLL, those are huge wrestling promotions, and especially lucha wrestling promotions in
So
Mexico.
really,
So now
that
that
happened last night.
yeah, they announced
Yeah.
it yesterday. They announced it yesterday during the pre-show. The first pay-per-view, the first cross-brand pay-per-view is going to be Worlds Collide in a couple of months, I think in June. Um, and I will expect that probably every luchador that WWE has will be taking part in that. Penta, Ray Phoenix, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, like all of them. I expect all of them to
And
be taking place in that. Or
and
taking part
they
in that.
sorry, I was zoning
No,
out for a second. Were you talking about Worlds Collide?
yeah, Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
It'll be an NXT brand thing, so you'll probably see NXT talent down there than more so than the. It's kind of like the 5-year deal that WWE signed with TNA, but WWE bought AAA. Like that. That's the huge difference. This isn't a 5-year partnership. WWE permanently purchased AAA, but it's going to be attached to NXT as opposed to the main roster. Um, but yeah, like it was an amazing little presentation there. Triple H giving nods to some of the greatest luchadors within WWE and of all time, and them just explaining what it's going to mean as far as and let me say this real quick too before we get into this. I've been paying attention. For those of you who haven't been paying attention as well, WWE like last week or week before last or within the last couple of weeks also announced the WWE ID championships.
Yeah.
The championship will be defended on the indies at the indie promotions that have chosen to participate in WWE ID. And here's the great thing about it. This is the one little feature about it that I loved when I read it. If you are not a WWE ID contract holding wrestler and they book you to beat the current WWE ID champion, you then receive a WWE ID contract. I like that. And for those of you who don't know what WWE ID is, real quick, so we can get on to Mania, WWE ID is a program where independent wrestlers can sign up at specific schools and potentially get a WWE ID contract. And basically, WWE helps pay for your travel. They help you pay for your ring gear. They help you pay for your training. They help you pay for everything as you're coming up. They help book you in shows at different promotions around the U.S. And they still let you live that indie life, but you kind of have a small WWE pocketbook to go along with it because you sign an ID contract with them. That when you get done, when they feel you're ready to come up from the thing, they'll bring you up to NXT or potentially the main roster. Mm-hmm. So I love that program, but I just wanted to mention that because we hadn't really talked about that. But I thought that was something really cool that you have now you have them owning a lucha program out in Mexico, and their contract with TNA. WWE is doing things worlds above what any other wrestling promotion in the world is doing right now.
Well, you know who is currently signed with AAA, so WWE is going to get him.
Who's that?
The one man who can defeat El Grande Americano.
What, Alberto Del Rio?
Yes, damas y caballeros, Alberto Del Rio.
Hey man, his announcer was my boy. Like, 'cause that boy, like that announcer was what made Alberto Del Rio annoying. It wasn't his promos. It wasn't anything he did in ring. It was that announcer. The way it was just, even when you hated him, just stop praising him so much. But anyway.
All right.
So
But let's get on to Mania.
So I will give Triple H credit. He got the one match that everybody was ready to talk shit about out the way first. And I thought it was an amazing match. Now, the internet didn't agree. But when has the internet ever been right? The internet didn't agree, okay? But I thought it was an amazing match. The only issue that I had with it was the finish felt a little flat. The finish felt like that may not have been what the finish was supposed to be, but I may be looking too much into it. Yeah. But other than that, I was happy that he won. His entrance, my God, watching Allegiant Stadium all yeet at the same, amazing, through the roof energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Having him come through the crowd, amazing. They very rarely do that at WrestleMania, even if your entrance is coming in through the crowd. Primarily because look at how fucking long it took him to get from there all the way down to the ring. I wouldn't say he was winded, but God, he was like, I could have just came down the ramp. Anyway, but
I haven't seen an entrance that long since Undertaker went down the ramp on that.
And for those of you old enough to remember the old Undertaker entrances, that was like 20 minutes. And it was just him.
Yeah. And it was just him, just with those knees of his.
That's why the Undertaker was 20.
Let me go get popcorn. Oh, he just made it to the ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why the Undertaker was 21-0. By the time he got to the ring, his opponents were half asleep. Yeah. But anyway.
And actually, I want to touch on real quick Jay's entrance, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
But as Kevin and I were talking before the show started, a lot of people were saying that WrestleMania and Allegiant Stadium just felt dead.
The crowd was dead.
And I don't think that the crowd was dead.
Yeah.
I think they just wore themselves out with 15 minutes of yeeting straight.
Yeah, before the match and after he won the match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that just wore them out right at the beginning.
Oh, man.
So it's like,
well, I could see how after that Jay match, like, they were emotionally spent. It was kind of like they opened up with Sammy last year. But I will say the crowd gave us some good energy for the triple threat match at the close.
Great energy for everyone. Yeah.
So, but in general, yes, that was an amazing match. For those of you who say Jay can't wrestle, I think the guy only hit like 3 super kicks in the entire match. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, he hit 4 splashes, but I think that was more of a nod to how strong Gunther is than it was to him spamming a move. I think it was just him, like him saying, "This is what I need to do to put Gunther down."
It was a good story that had realism. I mean, Gunther's a beast. So it's going to take 3 Uso splashes to put him down.
Yeah, 100%. So,
not only that though, but I will say this though, that right there was Chop City, because man, motherfuckers was chopping and they was chopping, but when Jay started, like, man, bitch, can't touch me. Like, man, fuck you, what? And that's that Bay Area, like
from San Francisco, yep.
Yeah, like, bitch,
please.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this: it is for me kind of odd to see Gunther built up as a strong champion for a year or a year plus, only to drop the belt at WrestleMania. Like, I want to say it was a year plus with the Intercontinental belt, and he won at the previous WrestleMania, but I think he was in a tag team match. He didn't defend the belt, and then he lost it to Sammy at WrestleMania last year, and then he wins the World Heavyweight Championship. What was that last year? He won the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. And then because he didn't hit 365, so he hadn't hit a year, so he won it after WrestleMania last year. And he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Damian Priest. And then he drops it at WrestleMania. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand why they dropped it to him. You want the belt on the hottest guy. But, man, like I said, I think they're building Gunther to bigger things is basically what I'm saying. So we followed that up with a match that to me was really good as well, but had a surprise ending. I wanted the New Day to win. I kind of expected the War Raiders to retain, just because I kind of felt like this was a veteran tag team putting over a younger
We needed
tag
that.
team moment. But I was
We needed
pleasantly
that.
surprised with the New Day capturing the belt, and I was pleasantly surprised with the way they did it. Like that was typical heel fashion, and they had a ball with it.
Yeah.
It was great. Like so the Boo Day is your new world tag team champions.
I think that it's going to set up is eventually. I know we kind of talked about a three-way tag team match between War Raiders, New Day, and Motor City Machine Guns.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, or
If
even
they bring
four-way.
because anything can happen tomorrow night. That's the whole thing about it. It's like all the switching goes on over the next couple of weeks, where they take tag teams from one brand, put them on the next, take this tag team, put them there, take this wrestler, put them there. So I could definitely see the Motor City Machine Guns ending up on
Or
SmackDown.
was it
or on Raw.
is DIY?
DIY. Both of those tag teams are currently on SmackDown. So in
Yeah.
order to get involved, they would have to make the
But-
switch.
But I'm talking about like even like go like a four team tag title championship at a premium event.
They could do that.
Leading up.
Well, I know next week we have a TLC match between DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits for the tag team titles on SmackDown. I know that's definitely going to be happening on SmackDown next week. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, these next couple of weeks, we're going to see a lot of people from Raw showing up on SmackDown, a lot of people from SmackDown showing up on Raw. Expect the rosters to lock like in about a month or two.
Yeah, because there is a draft that's coming also.
Yeah, expect the rosters to lock after the draft. Then
And alliances are going to be different.
Oh yeah. We've already seen it with night one of WrestleMania. We'll get to that triple threat later, though. When new alliances have been born.
Charlotte Tiffy.
No, after that was Jade Cargill and Naomi.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now here's a question.
It was a good match. I'll just
Right, it was good. It was a good match.
Yeah.
But a question, just in the round table. Out of all the people that we've been talking about to play Storm in the MCU, why have we not mentioned Jade Cargill?
Because I think she needs to learn to act better as a wrestler before we can put her in front of the camera, and ask her to act as an actress. Like, no offense to Jade, like she's definitely a lot better than she was when she got to WWE over a year ago. But I think there's still work to be done in that area.
That's like the only reason. Because
I think if you limit her lines, kind of like you did with Halle Berry in the first X-Men movie, if you limit her lines and just put her in the garb, I think she fits the look 100%.
Well, she's got the look.
Yeah.
She's got the attitude.
Yeah.
Definitely, and the presence for it. And so, I can understand the acting possibility. Haven't seen as much of her to kind of judge it, but it's not terrible.
Hey, I'll put it to you like this: I love Naomi. Naomi's promos are still kind of rough sometimes.
Right.
It depends on where she's at. I'm not saying her promos aren't good. I'm just saying sometimes her promos are a little rough to watch. Right. But she's been in the business for 14 years, like a multi-time champion. So like Jay
She's
could
killing
do
me with that caution shit though.
Yeah,
proceed with caution. I love it.
I'm just like, Naomi.
Yeah.
You need to go talk to somebody about all this.
As one of my favorite creators right now, Tony Weaver Jr. says, seek therapy. Anyway.
No, because it's the yellow tape. It's the yellow tape for me. Like, the only time we don't like fucking with yellow tape. Okay. Especially when it comes to the police and crime scenes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yellow tape. Come on. There's an E40 song. Bring the yellow tape. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
All right. Well, Naomi took
Naomi
took the pinfall. Jade beat her. I don't know if this is going to continue after this or what, but we'll see. We'll see. It was a great match for what it was. It was a cool down match. I'll be honest with you. Coming off the New Day win and the Uso win, it was a cool down match for the crowd. The next match lit them right back up. in what I call Night of the Samoans. We opened with Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship and then proceeded to see Jacob Fatu show us why everybody was happy when he debuted in WWE. As he put on a hell of a match with everybody's favorite superstar, L.A. Knight.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But not this match.
Not tonight. Not
this match.
No, not last night. No.
As Jacob
L8 night,
Fatu
that's a no.
walked out of WrestleMania as your new United States champion. Yeah.
I smell some fuckery in the scenes, though. I smell major fuckery in the scenes.
I know that Kev and I were talking about it, and Kev, you were talking about fans didn't like the bloodline, and here we are back with an all bloodline.
Oh well, yeah, no. I just pointed out that for the past 4 or 5 years, fans in the IWC, of course, have been complaining about every WrestleMania being about the bloodline and that family. On night 1, night 2, they were headlining everything, and everybody's complaining about it and everything, right? Roman Reigns main event in every show. People are complaining about it. But like the same people that were complaining about it aren't complaining about this one. But if you look at how the whole thing played out, this show was about the bloodline, y'all. We opened, mid, and closed with the bloodline storylines. They just weren't all together as the bloodline. With Jay winning the World Heavyweight title, like we just discussed, Jacob Fatu winning the U.S. title, and then we'll get to the Roman Reigns match and what happened there. But this whole night of WrestleMania was littered with nothing but bloodline stories. So it's like, where are the complaints about the bloodline stories? Here it is, year 6 straight. We get at least one night of bloodline stories in WrestleMania. I don't think it was the bloodline stories. I think it was just Roman Reigns.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure. I was trying to do the math, but like when you have, one entire family providing what, a quarter, a third of your wrestlers. Yeah. That's
I want to say there's like 6 or 8 of them, and we're not even talking about the ones that are on the independent circuits, like
right.
the Little Brother.
Yeah. The match just wasn't matching last night.
Oh, by the way, let me point this out before we get to the next match. For those of you who haven't seen it, go look up Braun Breaker at the WWE WrestleMania pre-show, and he gives us a Steiner Math promo about his Fatal 4-Way. And just like his daddy's math, the math of it fucking works. Like that was always my favorite thing about the Steiner Math promo. Like, is if you do the math, his math is actually perfect.
I thought that Braun was Rick Steiner's.
Rick Steiner, sorry, Rick Steiner.
Yeah.
My bad. Big Papa Pump, or not Big Papa Pump. Yeah, no, it was his uncle. Sorry, it was his uncle's promo. So it was Scott Steiner that did the promo at TNA, and it was Braun that did it there, but his uncle's promo.
Yeah.
And let's just say he nails it. Go watch it. I'm not going to sit here and try to repeat it because but just go watch it.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. That's going to be.
So congratulations to Jacob Fatu. Like, this is well deserved because he's been putting on banger. As Sheamus would say, banger after banger after banger after banger. So next up would be Dave's favorite match, El Grande Americano defeating Rey Fenix.
I'm just like,
for those of you who don't know, Rey Mysterio
there was fuckery in the midst.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio was injured on SmackDown during the 6-man tag match and was out at WrestleMania. So Rey Fenix took his place as a last-minute replacement and lost to El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was, and of course, Gable loaded his mask.
Yeah, of course he did. No, I actually told Dave, I was like, it's funny. It could be definitely Chad Gable at this point all the way up to here. But I don't put it past WWE to pull a switcheroo. Right. And when the reveal on who Americano really is, it's some other wrestler that they're debuting.
Right. Like I pitched the idea. It's like, just have American made switch the idea all around them on a rotating basis. It's obviously one of the Creed brothers. and then okay, so we're back to Chad Gable and just go around and around, and then like after a couple of months ago, you've got like a triple threat match or uh 3-on-3 6-man team with the LWO, and it's Chad Gable and the Creed brothers against LWO, and then who comes in? Well, it's Grande Americano,
Yep.
looking a little top heavy, shall we say? And it's obviously Ivy Nile in the El Grande Americano.
Well, I'm just saying
And
they
then
could
it's
also use it to just
okay.
debut another male wrestler, like
That's
somebody that
true.
they've signed or somebody that's coming up from whatchamacallit, that's now a new member of the American Made stable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways they could go with it. Like that. That's
Yeah,
the
there
thing
are.
I'm saying is that they left themselves a lot of ways to go with it. I agree with Dave that. I don't think he should have won, but I think if Rey Mysterio had fought him instead of Rey Phoenix, I think that Rey gets the victory. But but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So after that, we did get to it being Saint's favorite time, and that is Tiffy time. Uh, as Tiffany Stratton did
Look.
what some would consider to be the impossible and knocked off the untenable Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
Listen,
That was a good.
I already
Damn
knew
good
what
match.
time it was, man. Listen. Tiffany Stratton is one of those upcoming, like she pretty much has arrived as far as I'm concerned. Okay, like her arrogance or whatever, but my love for her, especially in the ring, is when she did that swanton
Mhm.
in the elimination chamber match the year that was what, not last, no,
Last
it
year.
was
That was
last year.
when it was in Canada.
And when she did that, and I mean nothing but respect.
Oh yeah, she's a hell of a
Nothing
wrestler.
but respect.
She's
Yeah.
definitely a hell of a wrestler, and
Yeah.
she gave her. I think there were a few like plotting parts in this match for me, but other than that, overall, it was an excellent match. I thought it was very well done.
And that's the thing, and the thing about it is, she's dating what you call it,
Ludwig Kaiser, yeah,
Yeah,
she's with him right now. Charlotte's single though. With her new no booty having ass. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. No disrespect. She's an amazing wrestler. Just noticed while she was standing there. I'm like, girl ain't got a booty. Anyway, so that
you
led
have no
us
chill.
to our main event,
Yep.
which was the triple threat match of Seth Rollins taking on Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Now,
Right. Never. Oh, hold
I'm
on
going to
now.
start. We're going to start at the top with this. The intros, including Seth's, were fire. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Like all three of them got amazing entrances.
Yeah. Seth
Seth
comes out with a freaking flamethrower,
Yep.
doing his own pyros.
Yep. That was amazing. But I love the way he uses it to light up the screen, which lights up
Right.
the tower that was on the screen above it, and then literally burns it down. Then after the tower burns down, the entire arena goes black. Long enough, mind you, for him to take off whatever intricate thing he had on when he was carrying the flamethrower, and then the lights come back on and shine on him, and he's wearing his white outfit, and then we start the Seth Rollins music, and he walks to the ring. Epic. Roman Reigns, real simple, sleek, as always, comes out, gives the crowd a one.
Right.
He's got his own Ula follow on.
Yep.
Oh,
The
he
one
comes
thing
out.
I did like about it was the screens that were above the walkway. The screens along the walkway were all of him, and then the screens down the walkway that all came down were all of his family, were all of the bloodline. So he still technically has that bloodline entrance. His family's still with him, and
then direct from Chicago.
That was fire.
That was fire.
Living color.
Oh yeah.
That was as they blast out their
No,
music.
just the showcase alone, because when you get to see a very young CM Punk,
Yes.
Like,
showcase.
The little video showcase, yeah.
yeah,
As
that was thing. Like, I don't drink,
Yep.
I don't smoke.
doing
I'm on the
Straight.
straight, yeah, like the straight edge. Like, yeah, I
And
was
they
like,
kind of take you
okay.
through his career,
Yeah.
but it's him repeating the promo with the
Yeah.
video from when he was young CM Punk. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely, to me, that rivaled with the Hate Me Now package from the Miz versus Cena at the WrestleMania in Georgia. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you check it out. Go on Google, type in "Hate Me Now" Miz WrestleMania, and it's one of those packets. I'll put it to you like this: it was a turning moment for me in the Miz. I had
Right.
hated the Miz up till that point, and then I saw that, and I was like, I literally had a moment where I went, "I'm supposed to hate him.
Yeah.
He's a heel." All right, and from that moment forward, the dude had my respect.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And
but yes, with the
they,
CM
they
Punk
even
one,
showed they even showed CM Punk with the mullet.
yep,
That's how far
the
back they
ECW
went.
mullet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get now. Here's the part I wanted to bring up specifically, and why I wanted to talk about the entrances. I don't know the name of the lead singer of In Living Color, even though I've listened to that band since I was basically a child still, and have loved them all the whole time. My dude pulled out his cell when CM Punk put his arm around him. My dude pulled out his cell, slickly took a selfie of him chilling with CM Punk, while never missing a chord or a stroke or a beat with the song, and just slipped his phone back into the pocket. It was one of the slickest selfies I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Dude pulled it off super quick, smiled about it, and moved on. I was done. At that moment, I was like, "Yeah, I'm done." That was just awesome.
That was
Right?
class.
That was class.
That was, yeah.
And Punk was happy to take the picture, because like a lot of people don't know that. Like CM Punk is actually cool with them and has been since he used to use that theme song back in WWE back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like he's been friends with them for years.
Yeah.
So like that was an epic entrance to give him.
Yeah. And seeing legendary music producer Rick Rubin, who was in the audience,
Yep.
just kind of rocking out at
Yep.
age whatever he's at, and still, yeah.
And as a
I was in his
49ers fan,
like 60s.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, as a 49ers fan, it made me real happy to see right behind him, or not right behind him, but right behind Jelly Roll, George Kittle rocking out to Cult of Personality.
Oh,
Yes.
and George. Oh, yeah. The other.
Yeah, he got
did.
into it with the New Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
George Kittle got into it with New Day. Yeah.
when they came out. But like it was a great way to start that match.
Yeah.
And it actually started with Roman and Seth going after each other, and
Yeah.
CM Punk
Punk's
on the
all-
outside.
Punk's all like, whoop,
Yeah, he dips out the
Just
ring
rolls
and
out,
goes
he's
and
like-
hangs out with Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, yeah. They're just talking and chilling and
Oh.
discussing strategy and da.
So it was a great match. Like everybody had their moments. They had a bunch of
Yeah.
great moments where all three guys had their moment within the same moment. Like I love the one when Punk picks up Rollins, hits him with the go to sleep. Rollins backs as Rollins falling back after the go to sleep. Roman spears Punk. And then after Punk goes down and Roman's going to get up after spearing Punk, Seth bounces off the rope and stomps Roman,
Right.
and all three are laid out. I was like, they gave us several moments like that.
Yeah, they did. They did a lot of really good stuff,
Yes.
including Punk missing the first go to sleep on Rollins, but then dodging out of the way as Roman spears.
Oh, and
He's
he
trying to spear
speared the
Punk.
shit out of Rollins in that one too, because
Yep.
he hit him up here. Like it wasn't even like he got him at the gut like you want. He got him right up here, right in the solar plex. And you saw Seth go right off to the ground, and I was just like,
Yep.
damn, Roman got him
Yep.
good on that one. Roman got
He
him
got
good.
a couple of good spears. Listen,
They were
that
good.
first spear,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that very first spear that he took, man, I know he knocked the fucking wind out of his ass, bro.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
ooh, like, oh my god, like,
Oh,
bro.
And everybody had their moment to shine in there. Punk got to do the comeback kid a couple times in the
Yeah.
match in there. So everybody had their comeback kid moment.
Yeah.
So we come to this close where
He's
all
a man
hell.
possessed.
Yeah, he was.
Happy, bro. That's how he was, bro. Like for real, like I'm happy.
So we come to this close that is initiated after complete carnage. Now, mind you, Roman Reigns has put both CM Punk and Seth Rollins through announce tables, and let's get to that. Whereas, because there's a moment where CM Punk is down, and Seth convinces, we think Seth convinces Roman to work with him to eliminate the threat that is CM Punk.
Cole's all, are we going to see a shield bomb?
Yeah, and so they
10
set
years
up.
in the making.
Roman gets them all excited. Roman gets up, yeah, ooh, he gives them all of it. And then as soon as he's like, get him up, and he gets him right into position, and Roman hits Seth with an uppercut. Then proceeds to pick Punk up for a bomb and put him through the announce table.
Yep, and then puts Rollins
Through
through
the
the Mexican announce table.
And once he drops Rollins, of course, the tribal chief is standing tall at that point.
But did you see the announce table? Did you
Yes.
see how the announce table looked?
Yeah.
Like
Yes, they
Damn.
broke through.
Yeah, no,
They broke-
that was
no. But I'm talking about the regular. You know, you have the regular.
yeah, no, these
Raw
were special announce tables. Yeah,
and those were special announce tables. Like, damn, like whew,
he
that
did it.
was he
Yeah.
he fucked him up pretty good. Like,
So
he got fucked up.
So we go
That's
through a
all.
couple of more things. There were a couple
And
more
then-
moments in the match, but then we come to this moment, and the moment and the finish begins here, or the close of the match begins here. Paul Heyman is standing there. All three men are down in the ring. Paul Heyman is standing there, and he walks over, and he goes and gets a chair,
Yep.
and now he's standing in between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And everybody's wondering who he's going to give the chair to, right? And he's hesitating, and he gives the chair to CM Punk. The crowd goes wild. Roman Reigns looks betrayed. Oh my fucking God, what have you just done? Why did you do that? He climbs in, gets behind CM Punk, starts telling him, yeah, get him, hit him with the chair. CM Punk grabs the chair, stands up himself up, gets ready, lifts the chair up, and Paul Heyman gives him the forearm to the nuts.
Yep.
CM
from
Punk
behind.
falls over. Half the crowd goes wild. They're going
Yep.
berserk now. He hasn't turned on Roman Reigns. He's with him. He's with the tribal chief, always loyal.
Yep.
My tribal chief.
Yep.
he
Paul
hands
Heyman
Roman the
gets
chair.
on his Paul Heyman's on his knees, said, "I acknowledge you,
Mind
my
you,
tribal chief."
He's doing it all. And
Yeah.
Roman picks up the chair, or CM.
and-
Oh, sorry. Paul Heyman picks up the chair,
Chair,
hands it to Roman.
it's like, look, my tribal chief.
Yeah.
Look. Yeah.
No. Roman goes to work on CM Punk,
Oh, right.
effectively taking Punk out of the match. He goes solid work with the I want to say 4-5 chair shots, right?
Yeah.
Then he says stop, and he points out Seth Rollins, who's going to get up, who's struggling to get up, climbing up the ropes.
Yep.
He's like, get him, the chair. Remember the shield.
Yep.
He's gassing Roman up. Now,
Roman
if you're
gets
watching, Paul Heyman takes position behind Roman Reigns
Yep.
and continues to encourage him. Hit him. And as soon as Roman's hand goes up, so does Paul's forearm. He wiggles it around for a little bit, pulls it out. Roman drops. Paul Heyman confidently gets up and fixes his suit, picks up the chair.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins has not turned around.
Yep.
Seth just stands there and puts his hand out. And Paul Heyman hands the chair to Seth Rollins.
Yep. And
Seth- Seth goes to work on Roman, pins him, gets his victory. And in a sight that, if you go back about 3 episodes of Cheap Pop, you'll see. I didn't predict anything. I didn't confirm anything. I just said plain and simple, I have a feeling that when that match ends at WrestleMania, we're going to see Seth Rollins walking out with Paul Heyman. Here's the fucked up thing that I'm going to recall memory for you guys here. over a month ago, we talked about WrestleMania, and I talked about ChatGPT's predictions. Do either of you remember what ChatGPT's prediction for the triple threat match was? Seth Rollins wins and leaves WrestleMania with Paul Heyman. I'll be goddamn. We need to stop AI. I take back everything I said next week. This shit needs to stop now. Like,
It's just analyzing all the dirt sheets.
yeah, it's like, but how? Like, wow, like it was a spinner. Meaning, like when I say it was a spinner, I mean that it was something that I thought could be a possibility, but I never necessarily saw coming. It was something that I was like, yeah, I could see WrestleMania ending like that, and I wouldn't be surprised. But I think they're gonna have something different for us. But they didn't.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Damn. I just, like I said, I needed answers, but we kind of knew it was kind of going in the way of the wolves. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, yeah. Because I honestly don't think that neither one of them served the interest for him, because he already Punk was already dealing with Paul Heyman at the beginning, and then, of course, the bloodline, the bulk of the bloodline story is pretty much like toast, but you still see the bloodline, but you don't see the bloodline.
Well, the bloodline's still there. All the wrestlers are still there. It's just they're not a group anymore. But I'll say this before I let you go. Paul Heyman, I said this to Dave off air. From a backstage standpoint, Seth Rollins made the most sense because of exactly what Saint just mentioned. Paul Heyman had worked with CM Punk for years back in the day. He just got done working with Roman Reigns for like the past 6 years, 5 years. Seth Rollins made sense because Seth Rollins is always somebody that people have looked at and said that should be a Paul Heyman guy. He has all the traits. That should be a Paul Heyman guy. Well, guess what? Now Seth Rollins is a Paul Heyman guy. Dave,
he's going to change his entire personality. Wow.
Well, it also depends. Is he working in? Is he a best friend? Is he an advocate? Is he a wise man? Like what role? That's what we won't. We don't find out until Monday. What
an advocate, a revolutionary advocate.
Yeah, like let's see what
a visionary revolutionary advocate.
like what will the combination of Seth Rollins? Is this a business arrangement, or is this an actual partnership? So. But go on, Dave. What were we gonna say? Your thoughts?
Okay, so Dean Ambrose gone completely?
Yes.
Okay.
Dean Ambrose currently wrestles for AEW under the name John Moxley.
Oh, okay. So there's no way that.
No, I doubt he's coming back. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he left WWE on kind of bad terms, or not bad terms in the sense that they wouldn't bring him back, but bad terms in like he wasn't happy when he left.
Right. CM Punk route. Yeah.
Well, no, like basically, kind of like CM Punk. Like basically, they asked him to do a promo where they asked him to mention something about Roman Reigns being weak because of his leukemia, and he wasn't about it. Like he wasn't, because they're friends in real life. At least this is the story that I've heard. Like there's no confirmation to this, but like they asked him to do a promo where he said, and I think there is a promo where he mentioned something along those lines, and like he just wasn't comfortable with that, and that was kind of the moment he knew he wasn't going to renew and he wasn't coming back, and all of that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, because building up to a Shield reunion can be interesting storyline to drag it all out. But one of the things I was thinking about, and I mentioned this to Kev, what if we have this all set up where months ago Roman Reigns realizes that CM Punk is the lesser evil compared to Seth Rollins. For Punk and Seth, it's just kind of a business thing. It's what they do.
Right.
At least that's how they've got the story set up. With Seth and Roman, Roman knows Seth is coming for his head,
Right.
along with CM Punk's.
Yeah.
So this could be a long-term storyline.
Right.
We're going like plus a year or two.
Well, yeah.
Where, yeah, because I mean, this is the accumulation of a year-old storyline, or from War Games. But what if Paul Heyman talked to Seth, or talked to Roman, and got Roman and Punk to agree to set up Seth like this, to get Paul Heyman into Seth Rollins' trust, and then works with Seth, develops Seth, does all that stuff, and then at some point in the future, we get the knife in the back of Seth Rollins.
I think that you're walking a right track with there will be an eventual turn of Paul Heyman on Seth Rollins, or Seth Rollins on Paul Heyman. I just don't necessarily know if they'll go that convoluted of a route to I think what you may see is a shift in how Seth, what would be more likely to see is a shift in how Seth treats Paul Heyman that triggers Paul going back to either Roman or CM Punk behind, and trying to curry their favor again behind Seth's back. And then that they use that as an end. But like I said, we'll see. The fun thing about it is that we get to see how all of this plays out in the coming months. Like it definitely shifts the game. It changes the game completely. Paul Heyman being with Seth Rollins is like, wow. We also know that Paul Heyman works with Braun Breaker behind the scenes, so that's going to be insane. I can't wait to see where they go with it. Like, I really, really can.
Yeah, you think they might bring back Brock?
I think there's a possibility of that. I just don't think Brock wants to come back right now. Like, I don't think Brock wants to wrestle right now. I think he's kind of done with it for right now. But when Brock decides he wants to come back, they'll insert him into whatever storyline Heyman is working with.
So interesting little thing that I noticed. This is just a side thing on the map. What sponsors were missing off of the map that you constantly see?
What's that?
Week to week.
What's that?
One, I don't think I saw the Riyadh festival. Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. 2025. I don't think I saw that.
Well, the dude was there though. They showed him in the crowd.
The Sheik was there, but I don't think I saw
the commercial.
No, not the commercial, but the logo on the map.
No, it wasn't. I don't think so.
Yeah. Two, more importantly, I don't recall seeing the logo for Hulk Hogan beer.
No, I think there may be a thing where WrestleMania is its own event, and certain sponsors have already purchased their mat space or whatever. And when we go back to Raw and SmackDown, we'll see those things back on the mat again, but not for WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is its own thing. Because WrestleMania was brought to you by what? The new Fatal Fury that's coming out.
Snickers,
and Snickers. So those were the primary sponsors for this year's WrestleMania, which is going to be amazing. Now we can get to what's about to happen tonight and the matches that are going to take place. I'm sorry, I hear people bitch about WrestleMania being 2 nights, and I don't. I love the fact that WrestleMania is 2 nights. Like I said, there were times when I got disappointed where basically for the best about the decade plus before WrestleMania became 2 nights, the Raw after WrestleMania was an extra night of WrestleMania. That's why it was so insane. You know what I'm saying? It's because it was an extra night of WrestleMania. So now we get 3 nights of WrestleMania. I love it. Let's keep going. So, okay, so tonight, these matches are in no particular order, so we're just kind of looking at what matches are going to be taking place tonight. We have our triple threat with Bianca, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. I believe Saint said he's got Bianca Belair in that one. I wouldn't be surprised if Io Sky retains or Belair wins. I just don't think Ripley's going to end up winning. You got the fatal 4-way between Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio. That's a bold claim. Or that's a bold thing. What are you thinking, Dave? I'm thinking Penta.
I'm thinking Braun
Braun retains.
because um, Penta as a close second
Yeah.
because I think that's still too soon in the WWE career for Penta to get that gold in there. Um,
Jacob Fatu's been there only a
yeah,
smidge longer.
okay,
So,
fair enough.
but I feel you. I feel you. No, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel where you're going with it.
So I don't think that it's going to be um, Finn or Dom
Yeah.
simply because the backstage bits they've already got enough drama going on in there, and having one of the I will agree, Dom winning would increase the drama for Judgment Day.
Oh yeah. Turn it to 10.
Especially if it's like, why didn't you take the knee and give me the blah 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 blah. But I think that coming back with two entrants and two chances, two bites at the apple for Judgment Day, and both of them failed,
Yeah.
that's going to increase the sniping in the group, and it's going to increase the tension, and that's just what I'm thinking. Uh, you know,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, the triple threat women's match most likely. Yeah, I could see that. And being that the WWE title will close. All right. So then you got AJ Styles and Logan Paul.
yes,
I could
I've
see
already-
that. I could see. I'll be honest with you. Athletically, I could see that match bringing the house down.
yeah. I can
Logan
see
Paul can go, and so can AJ Styles. So I can see that as long as they've put in enough work, I can see this match bringing the house
that.
down. I don't necessarily
already-
see a reason storyline for it. Like, it never really made sense why they just randomly started feuding. But I'm down to see it just because of the match that will happen.
Yeah. I'm already happy after. Was it Jay that drove Gunther through the Prime Energy drink kiosk?
Yeah, I believe it was
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay. So I'm already good for that.
Let's
All I
see.
need is a pin by AJ Styles, and even better would be AJ Styles putting Logan Paul through tonight's Prime Energy drink display.
We shall see. Then next up, you got the Sin City Street Fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Now, that's the match that I think was going to bring the house down. Those two brawlers beating the shit out of each other reminds me of Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre last year, WrestleMania. Like, it's going to be a fucking banger, and I am here for it. So, let's see. Who you got in that one, guys? I'm taking Priest.
Yeah, Priest.
I'm just going to go Drew because, Scotland depraved.
All right. Next up, we have a match that we thought was going to be canceled in Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria, my baby, and Bailey. And no, looks like Lyra's going to get herself a new partner. Now, here's what's
Yeah, we
great
don't
about
know.
these moments happening. This could be a returning female wrestler. This could be somebody
Hold tight,
from
please.
TNA.
Hang on.
This could be Julia. This could be Stephanie Vacker, who if you watch the NXT pay-per-view on Saturday, oh my God, that girl can wrestle. Both of them women can wrestle.
I think it could be Stephanie simply because they built. Was it Charlotte that was stealing some of Stephanie Vaccaro's submission holds?
Well, no,
Anyone
she
else?
doesn't start. Actually, well, I don't want to say Charlotte stole that from her, but yeah, they both do the move. They call it the kiss of death, where they take him in the head and they smack it down, and yeah, on the ground.
With their thighs.
Yes. Yes, it's a very, very suggestive move. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's an opportunity to bring one of the NXT girls up or something like that. Maybe Jordan Grace makes a special guest.
That's what I was
appearance
getting
at,
That's what I was
at
getting to
WrestleMania.
think of. That's
She
what
did.
I was getting to think about.
Did you watch the
about
NXT pay-per-view
Jordan.
last night or yesterday afternoon?
Yeah,
Yeah, you should watch it, man. Julia versus Vacker versus Jordan Grace versus Jada Parker. They killed it. And then I will recommend this match to the day that I die. Trick Williams versus Javante Evans versus Obi Femi should be match of the year candidate. That match was fucking amazing. It was the main event at the NXT show. If you didn't see it, go check it out. It was fucking amazing. They brought the house down. Obi Femi is a monster. Obi Femi is a monster. That guy's gonna wreck shop when he gets. He's not the next Apollo Crews. Anybody saying that is stupid. This guy's gonna bring the house down. Should be a world champion sooner than later. Then we got Randy Orton versus
mystery contestant
versus a mystery opponent. I think that definitely Nick Aldis is an option. I don't know if they go with him. I think because we haven't heard anything or seen any vignettes for the return of Rusev on Monday, leading up to it, I think he's a surprise. I think he comes back. I think they weren't planning on debuting him at WrestleMania, but with Kevin Owens actually having a legit injury and needing surgery, I think they bring him. I think they bring him back at WrestleMania as Randy Orton's mystery opponent.
We'll see.
I think it's going to be Rusev, or somebody that's not currently on the main roster.
Yeah.
I'll say it like that. I know it's not There's one person I know it's not, and that's Aleister Black. I was just telling Dave this off air that it's already been confirmed that the vignettes that they've been showing on SmackDown are for Aleister Black, and he's going to debut to SmackDown after WrestleMania. So actually, I take that back. Real time. It might be Aleister Black. Considering that Randy's on SmackDown as well. It might end up being Aleister Black. Who knows? Because I doubt they're going to put Aleister Black and Rusev both on SmackDown. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
And then we will close with the match that everybody wants to see. Either one man is going to win his 17th title ever, or another man is going to save WWE. And we still don't know what the fuck The Rock's doing in all of this. Or what role he has to play. I'll be honest with you. The fact that they haven't really even brought up The Rock outside of the last promo on Friday night, they haven't really brought up The Rock, tells me that I think Cena might win, and then once Cena has won, that's when The Rock comes into play. Like, or The Rock helps Cena win
SummerSlam. And we'll see SummerSlam.
You know, I think at some point before the year is out, Cody Rhodes will get the belt back. John Cena won't retire with the belt. I don't think that part of his gimmick was, or his promo was true. But I think he will win it at WrestleMania,
Yeah,
and he'll go on a run.
Too.
And I think either by SummerSlam or Survivor Series, Cody or somebody will take the belt back. If somebody that's permanent will take the belt back from John Cena before he retires.
Yeah, so, I think Cena's gonna win. To be honest.
Yeah. So I could see this as Cena wins. Rock pulls some type of strings. You know, I'm The Rock. I don't gotta explain shit.
Yeah.
And Rock bottoms Cena to take the belt away before Cena can retire and take the belt.
I think this is about Cena. And I think what's going to end up happening that's going to cause Cena to lose the belt is going to be him turning on The Rock. It's not going to be because The Rock turns on him. It's going to be because Cena's going to... Because before Cena... I'll say, like, I don't know. And that's the greatest thing about it. I don't know. Because they literally could have Cena stay a heel all the way through December and walk out with the belt. They could. Yep. They did it with CM Punk. CM Punk talked for weeks saying he was going to take the belt home after Money in the Bank if he hadn't signed a contract. And they led us all to believe that he had not signed his contract and he was actually leaving Money in the Bank with the belt. And then he disappeared for like 2 months.
Yep.
So, like, I could definitely see them following through with that with Cena walking out with the belt and walking away with it.
No,
I just don't think they will. But I could see it. That's the great thing about it. I don't know. Yeah. I just think Cena's winning tonight.
Yeah. I don't disagree on that.
Yeah. Like, and
we'll
so,
see
like,
the whys, wherefores, and all that.
Oh, yeah. It's going to make tonight. I as much as people, now that's the last thing we'll kind of touch on right now, is the reaction of the first night of WrestleMania night 41 has been, oh, this is a mid show, it's too predictable, so on and so forth. First and foremost, I would say that the people that were there looked like they enjoyed themselves.
Yeah. I think that they were tired from the yeeting.
Yeah,
you know.
but I'm just saying, I think that they look like they enjoyed themselves. Like it wasn't a bad show to them. And this brings me to, hold on, there's a specific point I'm making. This brings me to a recent comment by Triple H, where he talks about the internet fans don't matter. And this is what he means. He would rather listen to 50,000, 60,000 people live at WrestleMania who are all yeeting with Jey Uso as far as whether or not Jey Uso deserves holding that title, than listen to a bunch of dudes neckbeards sitting in their fucking mom's basement typing on a computer or typing on their phone. You know, and I agree with him with that. Like I said, Triple H is doing it in kind of a different way, but I've always said one of the greatest things that Vince ever did with the Attitude Era was he stopped caring specifically what the fans were thinking and started just trying to tell us a story. Started just trying to tell us good stories and have good matches, and it worked. And it increased their popularity tenfold. Yep. And I think that's kind of what Triple H, had to scratch it. That's what Triple H is doing right now. He's saying, I'm listening to the live audience, and the live audience seems to be loving everything that we're doing. So why am I going to change because some dude on the internet said that they think WWE sucks and it's mid, when I have 15,000 people every Monday night, 17,000 people every Saturday night or every Friday night, and then every Sunday every once a month with 40, 50,000 people that are all cheering for the product that I'm putting forth.
And buying merchandise.
And buying merch by the tons. They're a billion-dollar company for a reason. They were able to buy AAA for a reason. Now, don't get me wrong. TKO, yes, is worth multi-billions of dollars. But WWE, even before TKO bought it, was worth billions.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing with WWE is you got to learn how to, and that's what we're doing to an extent. You got to learn how to sit back and just enjoy the story you're being told instead of trying to. And I know this is going to sound very hypocritical to people, so don't at me or duet this of me saying. And I know it's going to sound really hypocritical, but like don't try to predict what's going to happen. Just watch and enjoy. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that sounds hypocritical after we just did 15 minutes of predicting what's going to happen in these matches. But seriously, I think that my ability to do that once we shut off the show and I go to watch it, my ability to shut that off and just enjoy the story that's being told to me has allowed me to like and enjoy a lot of stuff that people are like, that was just dog shit.
And that's fandom in general.
Yeah.
Whether it's wrestling, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Marvel, whether it's Star Trek, any big entertainment property, the fans need to just relax. Don't try to predict what happens. You can have your theories, but I mean, I certainly have my theories about everything, but you have to be able to let go of the theories and see where the story takes you. And fans aren't willing to do that anymore. They're not willing to see where things go and why things are done in a certain way.
They want the story to be told the way they want to tell it instead of having it being told to them the way the people that are trying to tell it want it to be told.
All fandom needs to be much more flexible.
Amen.
In there. And just...
Say, you're on mute, bro.
Sorry about that. I was saying EO Sky just made her entrance.
Okay.
Oh, has it started? Oh, yeah, it has started.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? All right, well, then we're going to go ahead and wrap up so we can all go get to watching some WrestleMania. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I know we've enjoyed talking about it with you. We'll get back to video games next week. Let's do a quick where can we find you next? Hold on.
All right. Basically.
Hold on. There we go.
Tuesday, now versus then. You already know what time.
Okay, bro,
is.
you're gonna have to repeat that. We were still on the intro when you started that. Go.
now versus then on Tuesday, and we're getting back to that. That's pretty much about it.
All right, Dave.
Tonight I'll be on with Spider-Man on my PS5 midnight till I sleep, so long as my body holds out. So.
All right.
That's why I missed last night. Sorry, guys.
Don't be like me. I fell asleep in the middle of a Final Fantasy VII stream, literally in the middle of a battle, and just kind of woke up when one of the things was boom, boom. I was like, what? How long was I out for? Yeah, okay, I need to turn this shit off. I was like, I need to stop streaming, y'all. Sorry. Like,
All
I
right.
literally, I don't even know how long I was out for. Anyway, for me, next, you can find me on Tuesday, bringing back Football Tuesdays with a little NCAA and Madden. So join me for that, 10:15 a.m. right here on Twitch. And there is no classroom this evening, so y'all have a great Easter. O'Malley had some family things, so we decided to skip this week. We will be back next week to talk NBA playoffs. Should be some good stuff going on. Warriors faced in Houston. Lakers lost to the Timberwolves. Whoo, it's going to be a good one. So me and O'Malley will talk that later on, and also the NFL draft. So be sure to join us for that next Sunday. So, but we'll be back to talk night 2 and the results next Sunday. So be sure to tune in for that. We'll still be talking WrestleMania and a bunch of other stuff right here on the Cheap Pop Podcast.
Oh, yeah, don't forget. Daredevil's over, but Andor Season 2 is starting
There you go.
this week.
So make sure to put that on your schedule, y'all. This is Dark Lord 100. That's Rune Scryer. That's the Saint.
This is the Saint.
We out.
Peace.
You,